Before I do the intro of this episode, I want to apologize because I've decided to scrap the Mythic engine for the World of Escabur campaign due to the prior episode. However, I was very satisfied on how the story came out, how it unfolded, and I'm happy with where Mortar ended up. So that will stay. Nothing will change in regards to the story. I was just getting not really liking the system as much as I was hoping to. Perhaps I set the bar too high for myself, and my expectations were up there, like you're expecting it to be a good movie, but when you walk out, it's like, that was pretty disappointing. So, to fix this, I will remain within the logistics of the poll results, and that was to surprise us. Here is the surprise. So, it won't be mythic anymore. That's moved aside. I am blending several systems together, while at the core, this will be Fate Accelerated, which is my favorite Fate system out of the three available. What I will be doing is blending Ironsworn, Fate, I forgot Savage Worlds, but mostly these two together with a little hint of Savage Worlds. And this is how it will go. As far as the rolling mechanic, we will be using Ironsworn. The D6 plus modifiers, the approaches for Fate Accelerated, and the results will be interpreted based on a strong hit, weak hit, or miss. Matches will count. Matches will count because I do use the plot twist and pay the price. Next, I'll be using the Fate character sheet and the general rules of the game, plus improv and house rules, etc. Everything I typically do. I have the card available here that's a quick little go-to, so I will be using the moves on top of that. Next, like I mentioned, we'll be using the Ironsworn tails. These have been in play for a while now, so that's not really a surprise. Next, I'll be using the Savage Worlds Benny system. These will be rewarded during monumental moments, accomplishments, and great role-playing. So 3 per game, which fits because this game uses refresh fate points, and I'll be able to obviously alter the story to an extent, soak some damage or stress, try to reroll. Now, the only real challenge here is how to use the Iron Sword mechanic for the dice rolls in accordance with the aspects and stunts. Now, obviously, the approaches are easy. You add the approach modifier to the d6 roll. But the aspect, when you invoke it, I believe that'll be able to give you turn a miss into a weak hit, or a weak hit into a strong hit. So that'll be debatable depending on if it's invoked. As far as stunts will stick with Fate. We'll add a +2 to the roll because it's a stunt. And that's pretty much it. You have the approach, you have the possible invoke aspect or compel. Compel is also a mechanic in the game where I get a Benny or a fate point, and then stunts. So again, aspects are going to be the slight challenge here. Depends if I may just add another +2 or allow for a automatic hit if it's a miss. If it's a weak hit, maybe the setback cannot be as damaging. Strong hit, it's just a strong hit. So we'll try it from there. Now, on to the intro. Hello, adventurers. Lex Gray here. Welcome to another entry. Today we are exploring episode 2 of To the South. Let's begin. So where we left off, we were on our way to save that kidnapped Dorman settler. That is what we have to do now. And we have to do it quick because time is of the essence. We have to get rest for our travels to Aldrith. At Haldrith, we're hoping to find Holth, wherever he may be. So, from before, we met the 2 brothers who rule over Dorman. We have Dungish and Jargon. They are polar opposites, but they are still caring about their people. We don't know their motives entirely yet. We notice I have here Gold protecting his people, but obviously that can change. Or that can unfold, I should say. So, We are outside the fortified walls, and we're about to walk into the forest. We see a clearing where the guard pointed it out to us, and we're now on our way through that clearing. So let's make our first roll for today. We're basically rolling to see if we can be sneaky in finding this potential camp where these inhumans exist, where this tribe currently has set up as some kind of base. So I'm rolling with sneaky. My sneaky is plus. I keep calling them tribe. We'll learn more about them momentarily. Sneaky is +3 here, which makes sense because he wants to be careful here. Doesn't want to be too quick. Time is of the essence, but we don't want to ruin this opportunity to not only impress, develop a bond with the two brothers. Sorry, I can't talk today. With the two brothers, but we also need to remember we got to get this done quickly. So I think sneaky will be a good approach, and then maybe quick, possibly as we get closer to this possible hideout. Now, aspects I have Find Wolf. Trouble is social anxiety. Uh, Two other aspects, Dark Realms Connection, and then Clever and Tactical. Clever and Tactical is definitely going to be very fitting for this moment. I don't have any stunts that can really help here, so we're going to remain within the aspects. So I will spend one Benny, one fate point, to invoke a bonus. If I get a miss, it's a weak hit. So I'm guaranteed a hit either way. Let's go ahead and go to our dice tray and roll with +3 on top of no miss. Okay, what do we got? So +3, that's 6, 7, 8. We have a tie. Now, do I want to use, I think Starforge does it, where your matches actually count. And I've done this before in the later episodes of the Ironsworn. Do I want to count matches or is it a miss? I will count matches. And it's a match. So, not only is it a match for a success, a strong hit, which doesn't, in my aspect, doesn't need to really be considered now, but it is going to be a strong, very strong hit. So, we have to ask the Oracle, what is this strong hit going to be? Let's check. For the action 27, it will be a bandit. Ooh, I have an idea for that. And then for 65, a banded dream. They are all asleep. Abandoned. They're dreaming. They're not. They're there, but I think we caught them off guard. So as we sneak closer to this, let's say it is a clearing. There are huts. It's a camp. There are several makeshift tents. This is a temporary location. These guys are not, this is not their permanent home. So whatever these creatures are, whatever these inhumans are, we don't know just yet. So we are being sneaky with that strong hit, and we have the advantage of finding the kidnapped individual who we have been sent here to rescue. So the kidnapped individual is in a cage, probably in the heart of this camp. Now, with the strong hit in mind, we're going to have to rescue him, or her, whoever it is, rescue this villager quickly. So the sneak, the strong hit, we're able to get in, and now we have to be quick to get him out. So we're able to break the lock. That might be a roll, actually. So let's say we reach the cage, and this has been a common occurrence. We had to run in with a cage back in the camp of Misfits. They had several individuals, but I'm thinking here it's just one villager, because I think I was saying there's two. Let's say it's one. It's just one villager. I'm going to say one for now. So we got to be careful. I'm just trying to decide which approach to use. Careful, clever, flashy, forceful, quick, sneaky. Well, we snuck in, so I've already used that. Clever or careful. Trying to carefully pick the lock. I have a +2 on. Clever, I have a +1 on, so I'm going to use careful to pick the lock and not make a noise. So let's go to our dice roller. We are picking the lock to rescue the villager. And what do... sorry about that. I have to think of... I can't use any aspects, so I'm going to just roll with my approach. +2 on this roll, which we just did. And that's going to be a 3, which is a fail. I'm going to spend a Benny to re-roll. So here we go. Okay, I'm glad I did that. So +2, we have 7. It's a weak hit. All right, so if I'm looking at that correctly, it's a 7. That's a weak hit. Okay. Now, there has to be a minor inconvenience. Let's go to the maybe play the price. What do we roll off the bat here? 31. Something of value is lost or destroyed. Something of value is lost or destroyed. Okay. Well, maybe there's something that is wrong with the prisoner, the captive. It could be perhaps they are unconscious or just tired, ill, hurt. Let's say that they are hurt. Destroyed, they're hurt. They're injured. We don't have time to tend their wounds. We have to get them out of here. So the weak hit constitutes that this individual we just rescued, trying to rescue, is hurt. And it may slow things down. So we have to actually not... We can't really roll... I could try approach, the quick approach, +2 to get the hell out of here. But I'm going to... social anxiety. Invoke that. Well, it's... Let's ask the Oracle. How many... Is this place crowded? I'm going to say 50-50. Let's roll this D100. 50-50. Is this place crowded? It's not. Okay, so the social anxiety, possible compel, doesn't need to happen. The high trouble. Okay, so we're back to square one. We got to get out of here quickly before they wake up, because so far we've been lucky, but I guarantee the guard or two of this pack, this tribe, will wake up. So let's do quickly. +2 on this roll. So we're going to put this individual over our shoulder. They're hurt, or help them up and get out of here quickly. Actually, quickly might not be smart. I think careful, because they're hurt. We can't really quickly just pick them up and bolt out. We have average strength. We are not a strong individual. That's forceful. And forceful is 0 on my approach. So I'm going to have to do careful again. So we're rolling for careful again to get the individual out of here. Let's go to our, let's see, +3. I'm not a fan of how it just rolls automatically, but anyways. Let's re-roll. Careful +2, so here we go. I can't really use any stunts on this point. So that's going to be 6, and it's another weak hit. Okay, it's a weak hit, which means we are able to get out of the village, or the this camp, but we got to pay the price. 100. Roll twice. I'm actually just going to re-roll because it was a weak hit. Let's see, 42. A new danger of foe has appeared. Okay. Well, I got 1 Benny left. And I'm going to say, I'm going to spend a Benny, which I'm out of Bennies now, that this foe is just a guard dog. It's a not... Okay, there's a dog. It's a foe. So it is part of the camp, the problem. But it's a guard dog. I'm going to say that this dog is alert and sees us. So I'm going to try to be clever and throw some food to distract it before it barks. So it starts to growl. It sees us as we near the edge of the camp. I'm going to spend a Benny to do that. To change that, it's just growling. It's a dog. It's not any human character. I keep saying Inhumans at this point. Let's think of a race, a fantasy race. that this is most likely going to be one of the multiple races, species, that escaped the rift from their own dimension. So let's go to our document. I really don't have a section for, let's do this. Let's do species. And I will just put this underneath character lists. Let me copy this little title here. And we have liftoff. So, yeah, species. Okay, well, we know we have the humans. We can expand on that later. Let's say that these are going to be orcs, just classic orcs. For now, I will leave it at that. Okay, so we need to roll. This is a camp, a tribe of orcs, and we're using clever to throw some food and distract a dog. This hound. So let's go to our dice tray. I'm thinking we'll roll again, so I'm just gonna say it's a plus. Oh, and then I can use an. I can't spend an aspect. Never mind. I'm out of bennies, so I can't use my aspect. Clever and tactical. All right, so clever. The approach, same name as my aspect. +1 on this roll. That's all I can do. +1. Oh, that bumped it. Wow. Okay, so that's a 3 out of 5. It is successful, but it's a weak hit. So a weak hit means the food. We throw the food, a little piece of bread or something. The dog turns his head, looks, and walks over, but we gotta do another pay the price. Maybe. Let's see what happens. 60. It is harmful. Okay. It is harmful. Let's just say we are able to get out of there, but we took stress doing so. So I'm going to mark off 1 box of stress. Maybe we got hurt. Some poison ivy. We brushed against the fence. We hurt ourselves. Just a small minor injury, and that's how I'm going to interpret that roll. So we are now leaving the camp and on our way back to the Dorman settlement. At this point, I keep calling it a village, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it to a village. Moments like this will happen. If I keep saying something that contradicts the original context, I will change it to that village. There. I think that's fair. All right, good. So now we got to roll quickly, which actually we can't do because he's hurt. This person's hurt. So we have to roll careful, which is also +2, back to the village of Dortmund. So we're rolling +2 on this roll. I can't use anything in the moment. So let's go to our dice tray. +2 on this roll. And that's a 7, so that's a weak hit. We have a 10 and a 2. All right, weak hit means pay the price. But minor. Pay the price is subjective. 94. It forces you to act against your best interests. Okay. We had to take a little detour. Something blocked the way. Fallen tree. Or maybe not alarms, but we hear voices, chatter coming from back at the camp. They perhaps discovered that the prisoner was rescued or taken. So they know, but we're way ahead. So the weak hit is basically we are way ahead. We get to the wall. The guards see us. The wall is still being built. They let us in. We return the villager to the guards to tend to the wounds, and we make it back in probably a couple of hours. So we get back to the two brothers, and we tell them of the success that we had in completing this task, this quest, this side quest. So, in doing so, we're trying to be flashy in this. We're trying to impress them. We want to use this opportunity we want to have, take advantage of this opportunity to basically have these two brothers be a source for us, a resource, an ally in the future. Maybe even bring us a companion on the way to Halbrith. So we come back. They are both impressed. The flamboyant one, what's his name? I forgot his name. Completely forgot his name. So let's pull up the board here. Okay. Okay, so the flamboyant one, the flashy one, basically, Jargon, he's right there. He's happy of the success we had. Dungish was surprised. He's impressed. He's also surprised, but it says it took too long. Um, and Jargon, let's say he's happy, and he says we could have done it with a little more flair as we enter the office or their lounge, wherever they are. And so we're trying to be flashy in impressing them. We're trying to basically, but I also want to remain in character because we're not the most social. We're not social butterflies. And we're just trying to talk to them. Like, I did this, I did that. We're trying to detail them. So we're tempted to be flashy, which is a +1 surprisingly. So let's roll for it now. +1 is a 2. They are not impressed. So it's a miss. They're like, they're like, we appreciate your help, but we're not really like, you can stay in town, but we're not looking to yeah. They're like, they're not impressed. They said, we've heard it all, buddy. But we appreciate, they're thankful for the help, but we were trying a little too hard to impress them, verbally, trying to hype up what we did, exaggerate what we did, like the Hound, and they're not impressed. Let's just say the role says they're not impressed. They've seen so much death and destruction in their lives that mainly probably Dungish. Jargon was just busy like cutting his, he's just doing his nails or something, or he's like combing his hair. He's ignoring us. Dunkish is like twirling his mustache and listening intently, but then he becomes bored. So maybe they're not impressed. They just get bored. Like, so I think more so Dunkish is just like, he's like, enough. We're busy. We got to plan out the next attack on these guys. So, and then but Mortar asks, those were orcs, weren't they? Oh no, actually, Mortar. This world doesn't know about these Inhumans. So these humanoid creatures. I keep calling them Inhumans. I may say mutants at times, but let's say Mortar. This is the first time Mortar has ever. Darn, I probably should have roleplayed that. This is the first time Mortar ever interacted with non-human characters before. Was it the first time? Let's do a roll here. So 50-50. I just don't know based on his history. Did Mortar ever interact with non-human characters before? Oh, okay, he has. All right, so that's a that's a super yes. He has had. Oh, that's right. When he was a kid, he was taken through the woods. He was unconscious, but let's say he did travel up north with his dad. They ran into orcs, and okay, so he has had run-ins with orcs before. So Mortar says, why do those orcs take kidnap your villagers? Why are they kidnapping your villagers? And I'm going to stick with my flashy role from before, just carried over. They don't want to detail it. They're like, look, thank you for your help. Duncan's like, thank you for your help, but you're asking too many questions. Stay in town, stay in the village, get some rest, and you can leave tomorrow morning. And then Mortar's about to say something else. He's like, and then Jargon's like, I recommend you just drop it. Just, be safe, get some rest, leave tomorrow. And then they both go about their business. So Mortar is, he's like, okay, well, they know who he is now. He helped. So, but Mortar's on a path and he has to take care of find Holf. So he leaves the build their house, their manor, wherever they are, their town hall. Maybe it's their town hall. They leave the town hall. The guards show. He asks the guards where the nearest tavern is or the inn. They have a very very small tavern slash inn. So he goes into the tavern, and it is kind of busy, not exactly, because of the orcs consistently attacking it. It's kind of hampering on business a bit. So the tavern owner uh, gives a price on renting the room, and it's like a two solid gold pieces. So they go upstairs. Mortar gets a room. I guess a key, goes upstairs, and then goes to bed. So while he's asleep, let's roll to see if anything happens. Here we go. This is the first roll for action. Okay, 25, which will be eliminate. Oh, eliminate. 57. Blood. Uh-oh. Oh no. Someone's attacking. Okay, so while Mortar's trying to get some sleep, some well-deserved shut-eye, the village gets attacked once again. There are these... Okay, depending on... Let's see how bad the attack is. I'm going to roll some dice, and we'll see, depending 1 to 100. 100 is terrible. Complete slaughter. 1 is like a leaf falls into the village or something. I don't know. One little helpless ant crawls into the village. Basically, that's the joke. So let's see how bad it is. Okay, so a couple of orcs do enter the village, and because we got some rest based on that roll, I'm going to take off that stress that we had just from earlier. We shook it off, and a couple of orcs knew that whoever rescued, but I'm assuming that Dungish and Jargon were prepared, and they had more guards at that side, that post where that wall's been broken through, and they were prepared for retaliation. Let's say Dungish and Jargon mentioned it, like, okay, we appreciate your help, but most likely they will obviously make it a counteroffensive. So they're prepared. They're preparing, and they told Mortar to go away. They were busy. They don't want to get in the way anymore. And then we hear some screaming, so it's like maybe after midnight, and we hear some screaming. Some children are screaming. Some villagers are running away. We can see it through the window, and we see some fires. But it's a couple of orcs. So we get dressed. We go downstairs. We run outside, and we see a couple of guards fighting 2 very large orcs, and they have these large blunt weapons, and they're smacking around the guards. The guards are not doing so well. So we have our bow handy, and the orcs. Let's see if we can do this quickly. So I think using a bow would give me, I can shoot, so the stunt says I can shoot from a distance. Doesn't give me it's a short bow, I should clarify. So let me write that down. It's a short bow. Because my dual blades, I can deal extra stress on solid hit from behind. So like an ambush. But it's just a regular bow allowing us to attack from a distance. That's how the stunt operates mechanically. So we take the bow out, and I'm going to say quickly, because they're going to kill these villagers and guards, so we're trying to obviously do our part. And we're quickly +2 shooting the bow, this short bow, at the 2 orcs. Let's roll for it now with a +2, and I don't have any bennies to spend. So here we go. +2 on this roll. That's a 5. Unfortunately, it's a miss. So the orcs just see the arrow coming, and they hit one arrow out of the way. The other bow misses, so we gotta get closer. But the orcs see, well, if it was a matching miss, the orc would have seen us. So we're going to have to go around and figure out a way to surprise them with our blades. So we're going to use sneaky +3 on this roll to sneak around them. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's going to be +3, 6, 7, 8. That is a strong hit. We managed to get behind, and now we're going to attack. This will be quickly, or again, sneaky, +3. So we got behind. Now we're going to ambush with our dual blades. And now let me get a character sheet ready for the 2 orcs. Okay, so I gave Orc 1 3 boxes, Orc 2 2 boxes. Those are stress boxes. All right, so now we are going to use, I'd say, probably quickly to get both of them at the same time with 2 blades. So if we hit on a solid hit, we get from behind, which we're ambushing, so it qualifies. So we're doing a +2 on this roll to get them both, at least their legs. +2 on this roll. +2, 7. That is a weak hit, which means a weak hit deals an extra stress box. So I'm going to only mark the first stress boxes of both orcs. It won't give us 3 when we're in strong hit. Actually, a weak hit would mean, no, I think my stunt says, yeah, it's on a strong hit, so my mistake. I'm only giving 1 stress box to the first orc. Okay, so now, with that in mind, I'm going to update my character sheet here. Quick. And then the two orcs retaliate, but they're also struggling with the guards. So the guards see us helping, and now they attack us. We have to dodge. And so, with the rules here, we attacked. Now we are defending. Oh, yeah, and I can't forget. I completely forgot about my ATM. So my ATM rules aspect the moment, basically, but I don't have any bennies to aspect the moment. I can create an advantage, but I think there's so much chaos and there's some fire. Maybe I can take a piece of wood that's on fire and throw it at the orcs, perhaps. So I did strike one of them. The orc 2 is dealing with the guard, so orc 1 is now on us. He turns around, he's hurt, but he sees us, so now we're at a one-on-one fight with orc 1. So I'd say that we are going to defend first. He attacks. So rolling for quick, we're just trying to dodge. That's our specialty. So let's dodge right now, and that will be quick +2. We're dodging. There we go. We're dodging. That's 4. That's a weak hit, which means a weak hit. I would say we do manage to dodge, but we don't have initiative. However, we can attack with the weak hit. However, I'm going to basically create an advantage, which is aspect the moment. And it's using a blunt object, perhaps a distraction. So it will inhibit their ability to attack us with, it will make it harder for them to attack us. We'll distract them. So we'll take a piece of wood that's on fire and throw it at them as a distraction, or kick some dirt, anything. So let's see how that works out. We're doing this with clever +1. Let's see if it works out. Oh, 2. It did not work at all. That's a terrible attempt. Okay, it didn't work at all. So the orc just struts up and he attacks us. So now we have to dodge again. He still has initiative if we're even tracking it sensibly. Okay, so we're doing quick to dodge essentially, and this will be roll +2. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have leather armor. Leather armor soaks 1 stress per combat, so I can choose to soak 1 stress if he hits. Here we go. I'm doing, let's see, quick +2, 7. Okay, we dodge. No problem, which means we now have initiative back in our court. Balls on back in our court, and I'm terrible with basketball puns. So, let's see, Orc 2 is still fighting that one guard, let's say. And we're going to attack, but we can't use dual blades anymore. It's just a general attack now. Because that one is for ambushing. Here we go. We're going to use, I'd say, I can be quick. We can try to use quick with our dual blades. I can't use sneaky. So quick +2. Here we go. To attack the orc 1, because that's where we're on right now. And that's going to be 5. Ooh, that's just short. Darn. Okay. So we miss. The orc hits us. We get in the way. It's a miss. So we can try to pay the price if we want. Let's see what happens. 5. Something of value is lost or destroyed. Oh, gosh. Okay. This was on my mind for a while now. The magic stone. Okay, so it does soak the blow, but basically the orc's giant blunt object hits us on the side, but it crushes the stone, destroying our communication device, magical entombed item to Damon. And so here's what we're going to do narratively. We're going to go back to our list here, and unfortunately, that was a bad move. We should have kept it back at the room. So I should say 1 had the item is destroyed. Let's say in pieces. Whoops, pieces. Now, that's bad, but how destroyed is it? Just do red. There we go. Just keep that in mind. How badly destroyed it could be in pieces. I'll leave it at that. So, he hears a crack and he's pissed off. He sees it, and with that little spark of rage, he's going to use it to his advantage. We're going to aspect the moment and use that rage because that was his only method of communication back to Damon. We're going to strike back, and I will give this a +1 bonus on top of quick +3. So we're striking back. I'd say our armor soaked it, but unfortunately the item was on the outside of the armor. It broke. So we're striking back. Oh, nice. The +3 total on this roll, 9. Okay, so we do deal another stress box to the orc. Now the other orc defeats one guard and then gets over. Then guess who shows up? The big guy himself. So, not Jargon, but I keep forgetting his name. Dungish. Dungish pops in. He is a barbarian. This guy is massive. He is running like a football player and tackles the orc against the wall, and the orc get hit against the wall and starts punching him. He has no weapon. He's using his fist, punching it. So this will cause 1 stress box for Orc 2. Orc 1 is seeing this and is panicking as he's trying to figure out who to strike. Now, the Orc 2, because Orc 1's distracted, there's another aspect of the moment. I'm going to use that distraction to be sneaky and strike from behind. This will be a +3. And dual blades, which on a strong hit, well, he's down to his last stress box anyway, so it might not even matter. So we're striking once again because the Orc 1 is distracted. So sneaky +3 on this roll. That is a 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's a weak hit. Well, a weak hit. I guess the stun doesn't work, but the weak hit is a hit, but he's not down. He's just mortally wounded. So I did a half box. That makes sense. So he's okay. So he's mortally wounded. Orc 2 is still struggling to hold back Dungish, and Dungish uh, yells at his guards to get the other one. So both orcs morale. Let's do a morale check. I'm gonna say 25% chance they'll stay in the game. I don't think so. 25% chance. Yeah, they do. Okay, so they're sticking in, and Orc 2 is going to attack Dungish, and Dungish does take a punch to the face. He gets pushed back a bit. Spits out his blood. He says, "Is that all you got?" And then Orc 1, who is panting and heavily bleeding out, he's stepping back, looking at us. And I mean, what will Mortar do here? Will he finish him off? Is he that deadly of a person? I mean, I'm trying to think of what Dark Realms connection. I'm going to compel the Realms connection as a corruption. So Mortar is seeing this injured orc who is twice his size on his one knee, bleeding out, trying to crawl back, trying to push back a bit, and Mortar's eyes turn dark, and it's vengeful. So there's vengeance. So his emotions will get played with at times. So we're invoking. We're compelling. He accepts the compel. We get back a Benny, and this will cause Mortar to attack him ruthlessly. So, and part of this rage is this Dark Realms activated rage is because of the destruction of the item that was close to his father, Moss, literally a bonded item through. It was a bond through an item to 2 other people, technically 3 with Hulf considered. So that kind of exaggerated, it kind of heightened the rage factor. So I'm trying to think of what approach this would be. It's forceful, so he does this very carelessly. It's just rage. So I'll give a +1 because it's forceful. He doesn't have a bonus on forceful. I'm sorry, he doesn't have a modifier on the forceful approach, but it's like just pure rage, so it can get a little like a strength boost. So it's a +1 that's rolled. He's just gonna go and take the blade and just try to stab the orc in the head or something very violently. So we're doing a +1 on this roll, and that's a 5, which unfortunately, oh, you know what? I can spend the Benny right here to make it a weak hit. So he does stab the orc into the chest, but it doesn't kill him. He gets stabbed like right here, not near the heart. The orc screams, and Orc 2, who is still in little fisticuffs with Darngish, sees that, and they have to retreat. They talk to each other in the native tongue, and they get up and they both flee, and they both yell. Darngish is like, "That's all you got, you cowards!" The guards start cheering as they see this two orcs flee back. The battle's won, but the war's not over. So Dungish walks up to us as or Mortar. Mortar kind of clears his eyes. He's like, "What just happened?" He's missing a blade too, by the way, and so he's looking around like, "What happened?" Dungish puts his hand on Mortar's back and says, "Well done. That was very impressive to see you fight like that. You are proving your worth, my friend. Ha ha! Laughs really hard. So come with me. Let's grab a drink. And so he brings us back to the tavern, and we just sit down and grab a drink. So the other guards are nobody was mortally wounded or killed, and Dungish helped in a way. So now we're back in the tavern, and he tells the tavern this is happening pretty quickly, by the way, because I think Mortar is still his mind is still clearing up. And so he like consciously comes back. He's having a drink with Dungish, and Dungish is telling stories about his times in the war or the Great Rift, and Mortar's holding a Yale or an ale, a degree from Yale, Harvard, an ale, and he's like confused on how he got here. So, and I think that's where we'll end the episode, just a comedic ending. The two are drinking, telling stories. But this is actually a good bonding moment. We have the trust now of Dungish. So let me pull that up here. I'm going to say has the trust of Mortar. I'm going to put this in bold because that actually might be very helpful. We don't know jargon just yet. Uh, Dungish was the guy there during the fight. So the orcs all barely survived. So obviously they are going back to their camp. And I'm going to have to also note in the regions that orcs exist in this region. So region is my least maintained page here. But basically, let's see, has several species I should say humanoid species. Orcs is confirmed. I think in the last episode I said tribals. I meant kobolds. A little correction there. So that's really it. This was so much better. I hope you guys enjoyed. Having Fate mixed with Ironsworn and a little bit of Savage Worlds, light years away. Light years better. I mean, I so much satisfied. I really do love the challenge dice in Ironsworn, but I was kind of getting tired of the vows being stuck to those vows. So this one's more freeform, and I love the Fate character sheet and the approaches. So I think we'll combine the best of both worlds, the Iron Sword mechanic at heart, and then the Fate rules and the math on top of it. So that's really it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Didn't expect to do another episode today, but I just wanted to do like a quick, a hot fix for my last episode. I felt like it was a little on the downer, but not narratively. I liked the narrative, but not the mechanics. This one was a great combo on both sides. So, as always, that's all for today. Hope you've enjoyed this telling. Please subscribe, like, share, and most importantly, comment. See you in the next one.